Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Wowzers. It's 2023? And,
what?
If this is your first time listening to Night of the Living podcast, we're usually a show where we do a little round table discussion of fantasy, sci-fi, and horror movies. But we kick off every year with staff picks. And this week's movie, the main attraction is Kelley's pick, Monty Python, the Holy Grail, which is awesome.
You could say it makes us Knights of the Round Table.
Literally, because we're sitting at a round table.
I am sitting at a round table.
I'm not.
Well, you're on my computer on my round table.
But I'm part of your round table.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like you're propped up on the table. It's like your legs are dangling off of it.
You're just kicking them.
Sort of like I'm being autopsied
or you're just seductively crossing and uncrossing your legs.
I'm doing that.
Yeah.
We do staff picks in January because all of our birthdays are compressed into this 1 month.
That's right.
Kelley, yours is coming up in a couple of days.
2 days. I will be 46.
Hell to the ass.
I'm on the other side. I'm on the other side of 45.
My mom was asking how old you are the other day, and I said, I think he's going to be 46. And she goes, oh, he's a lot closer to 50 than he was.
Time to join the Jazzy Gals.
Is that kind of,
And I was like, I won't tell him that, but you're already thinking
But you just did.
I'll let you know. Yeah.
You're just spilling your mom's tea all over the place.
Yeah, I'm throwing her right under the bus.
So that's Amy and
50's
Andy.
looking pretty good these days. I'm into 50. Bring it on, baby.
Can you stretch?
The one, I can stretch. I could never stretch your kick, but I do love it. Love it.
Also, that's a reference that only people our age will get nowadays.
Molly Shannon, look it up.
Kick.
50.
It's come full circle. People our age can finally understand that reference.
Yeah, but
they
now
can.
we
I will
look
be a
at
joyologist.
It feels.
I love it.
I feel like our generation is the youngest 50. I feel like that's true of every generation, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of these dogs farted. I can't breathe.
Oh, dear God.
It's so
Get some water. Holy God. I mean, the dog farts are bad, but.
So yes, it's gonna be my birthday.
Where's the party at?
In his pants.
Oh, I might. I'll tell you.
Or is it in your mouth and everybody's invited?
Pants, mouth.
You hear
You
that?
reminded me of something.
Abandoned warehouse.
You hear that?
You might not hear it, listener.
Do you hear it, Kelley?
I don't think it's coming through.
No,
The dog
there
is
it's out.
growling. She'll get over it.
They're mad at the fart. Their own farts. They're mad at their own farts.
I mean, you ever been
As
mad
they
at yours?
should be.
Yeah, I guess.
So yes, Kelley's birthday. We're starting with Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Who had roulette? Andy?
Andy.
I think. He's shaking his head
Son
at
of a
me. Like he's
bitch.
saying no, but I don't believe him.
You're the worst.
Wolf.
Ay,
That's me.
the boy who.
I just cried it.
He did cry it.
Where were we?
Wolf. That's a different.
Oh, you do it Tom Hanks style.
Patreon?
Patreon.com/NOTLP.
My arm be aching.
Well, you just had your rotator cuff repaired.
My arm bacon. Arm is bacon. And it be aching. Oof.
We post our extra content over there that you can access with your dollars, American dollars.
Thank
They'll
you so much
convert
for your
it
support.
from your other kinds
or
of
whatever
dollars.
you whatever you use.
Yeah, whatever you're into.
Sort of the number that's in the computer that represents you financially.
That your Shroot bucks, your NFTs, whatever you use to pay.
Oh, thanks to everybody who went out and played my new song "Bouncing Baby Boys."
Yeah,
on Spotify there.
Dear?
On Spotify there, the Bouncing Baby Boys there.
Is it bouncing up the charts?
I had a
That's what Casey Kasem would say.
He's bouncing. Yeah, he would, wouldn't he? 2,000% increase
in streams on Spotify. Wow, honey.
Yeah, 2,000%. That shows you where I'm at. Was at prior. If that gives you any idea. But thank you so much.
Yeah, guys. Here's the deal. The Bengals game. We have to talk about it. The Bills-Bengals game. Everybody knows about it.
It's on the national.
I feel like weird shit like this always seems to happen at Bengals games.
Bengals have had like a primetime curse for what felt like all of my fandom until recently, right?
Well, we were supposed to have one earlier this year, but it got stripped from us. But we got this game eventually.
This Bills-Bengals game, Monday Night Football, all eyes on Cincinnati, and oh my God, it was the most
within the
horrifying
first
thing.
10 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
If that.
No, it was like at 5:50 something.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't want to get too much into it.
No, but we were watching it live and watching. The thing that really struck me is like, you're a broadcaster.
Yeah.
So the people that have to talk, there's a man named Booger. That's one of them.
Oh, yeah. You mean like just like, his name's Booger. What are you going to do?
I love it. They kept calling him Bug.
Yeah.
I don't watch ESPN. I don't know these people. I don't know any of the commentators.
I watch the games, but I never watch the commentators like in between stuff. So
like, I know never, Boomer, but that's it.
Yeah, I never. Okay, Boomer. I never heard of him before either.
I think I was watching it on Fox.
Well, it was. I don't know. I was watching ESPN.
I was watching whatever the live because I watched it through YouTube TV live.
Yeah.
I think usually would they carry it on a local affiliate and on ESPN?
Do I look like Roger Goodwin?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was on WCPO. I think maybe that's where I saw it.
Weird.
Watching them scramble to try to fill time or say things, which is like, what did we have?
Well, it's unprecedented.
It is unprecedented.
So I don't give them any shit for spinning their wheels because what do you say at that point?
They have to wait. They have to wait to hear from the top what they have to do next.
I absolutely felt for these people, and like I'm refreshing Reddit like constantly because I quit Twitter and I'm trying to be strong. But
I hate the fact that this incident made me go back to Twitter and scroll what was happening.
Oh, just to see what was going on. I mean, they were gonna let everybody know, and they let everybody know.
Well, exactly.
Like it was up to his family.
It was just this thing when you realized what was going on that oh shit, now we're back and there's an ambulance on the field. Yeah. Oh shit, it's still out there after we come back from another prolonged Burger King commercial.
Yeah.
Oh shit, it's still out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really like just it rocked me.
Yeah.
Well, what's it?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Kelley. Go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Well, no, I was just gonna say I've seen people die instantly before, and that's what it felt like.
Well, he did die.
Yeah,
and I'm just at least they got his heart.
Well, yeah, his heart was stopped.
He was dead for 9 minutes.
Like I've seen.
But you're not sure if he like re-died.
Correct. Yeah. He's still alive
he's on. He's on. I think he's technically.
He's in a medically induced coma right now. I think.
Gotcha.
But anytime you hear the word CPR, that's kind of.
It's scary.
Yeah. It's scary. I mean, I've seen it performed a couple of times, and
same.
It's never gets easier to watch it.
And it kind of, when you see it, it kind of triggers you as a person who may have witnessed it before. Like when you see it again, especially if it's somebody you knew, like it's really intense when you see that image and you know what's going on of somebody's heart stopping. It's just really fucking scary. It was scary. It was like totally glued.
I felt like, I've never learned more about how this thing called commotio cordis, I can't even say it. I've learned so many things about how the heart works. I've learned a lot about, this young man and, his, wonderful attitude. And like, this is an awful thing to watch live, but fascinating for the mechanisms of what happened.
How the broadcasters handle it.
How the broadcasters handle it. How the
NFL was supposed to handle it.
How the NFL was handling it. How the refs were handling it. How the coaches were handling
How
it.
the fans were handling it. It was like you could hear a pin drop in that stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like long time watchers of football know, like we've seen like bad accidents before, but we've never seen an ambulance on the field.
I've never seen that.
We've seen people like carted off on those little carts, and
I've seen your ankle snap.
We're always
your
waiting
knees
for the
bend
thumbs
the
up
wrong way.
from the inter player. Like thumbs up is always
And
like,
the big cheering.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they cheered for him
Yeah.
when the ambulance
team,
pulled
yeah.
out. Yeah. The fans did too.
No, I meant they cheered for the team too when they went back
Yeah.
to the. I don't know. It was just a bananas thing. I had a coworker and it was there. He didn't really say much about it, but it's just but what a wonderful thing to know that he got what he needed. Hopefully, fingers crossed, of course, because anybody else at any other moment, you would be dead forever.
And they don't know if the hit caused it yet, right?
I mean, these are the assumptions based on all these doctors on the internet. I don't know.
What is the assumption?
That he got hit at the
The hit
perfect
caused it.
time.
Okay.
at the right place or at the right
Yeah.
velocity.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because, like, I mean, also, I didn't know if it could have been that or if it could have been like a defect in his heart that I didn't know about.
Well,
right?
apparently this is
these-
what I learned. These players get like completely screened for all of these heart conditions that they're aware of.
Yeah.
So he never would have made it to the NFL if he had
okay.
certain heart conditions, but who knows?
And unfortunately, these dumbasses on Twitter and everywhere else are saying,
But it
it's
could be
part
the
of
vaccine.
The vaccine.
I just kind of don't even.
An elite
say.
healthy athlete
Yeah.
just drops. Sure,
It's like,
okay. And I'm
they're
like, no,
explain it
it's-
to me. It's like there's something up there.
Yeah. Well, anyway, as as being the little Bengals nerds that we are, we were all watching, and it was something that happened, and I thought that Bengals fans handled themselves well. The Bengals players and team, they handled themselves well.
There were no shitheads reported, is what you mean.
That's what I'm hearing.
So no shitheads reported, which is a win for everyone involved in an otherwise awful situation. Because you can imagine 10 years ago, 20 years ago, like I think we've hit a new age of sensitivity where continuing in that game was not on the table culturally. I don't think
I don't
anyone
think
would've
it ever
handled
was. People are like, they wanted them to go back after 5 minutes, and I'm like, are you sure they did? And the NFL is like, we didn't say that. That's just like the standard, I guess.
Yeah, they probably
People were
said
assuming.
take five, and then they.
Listen,
then you
I
drew
don't.
conclusions from
I
there.
don't want to give any good thoughts to the NFL as an organization because I think they're terrible. But I don't think anybody was going to play that game after what happened.
Well, you can't get away with it.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Like you can't get away with it because culture has stood up to corporate bullying, and in so many ways where they're like, you can't convince me that the game means so much that it's so important. Where I do think 20 years ago, you could have convinced a lot of football fans that the show must go on.
That one guy died on the field and they kept playing. In
You know,
71.
in the 70s, yeah.
Yeah.
So like
They didn't tell him that he was dead till after the game.
It's like I've thought some horrible, awful things about the opposing team, but I've never said, "God, I hope that guy's dropped dead."
No.
And this is
Are you reckoning with some
Yeah,
guilt for
it
something
is.
you couldn't possibly have caused?
exactly.
It's not your fault, Andy.
Isn't that crazy? I had that same thought, Andy.
And I've thought horrible things about awful things about their fans too, but it's never I was like, gosh, I hope that fan drops dead or
Well,
something. like
you know
that.
when a nice old lady tells you like you shouldn't say that sort of thing. It's not for the person that you shouldn't say it about. It's to keep you from having this moment later on. They're protecting you from yourself, where they're like, you're going to feel guilt for something you have no control over because you said you wish that so-and-so's dick would fall off and his dick fell off. It's not your fault.
It took me this year to finally be able to watch football games without feeling that I'm going to jinx them.
Yeah, superstition, man.
That's where I'm back at. I have to watch or I will jinx them.
Every single thing that every fan does.
It has
Is
a
that
direct
why it
impact.
happened? Because I started watching the game? Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Andy.
So, can we move on past this really depressing news? Into
Shit,
something
yeah.
else? Cool.
Yeah.
How's the new year treating everybody?
Eh.
Yeah.
Does it feel like even
It's been raining.
everybody says like it's just like it feels like with a big change in New Year. It's the weather's been just so weird, and it's the weekend and the timing of the holiday. What's your name again? I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on anymore.
It's Deborah.
It's weird world, man. We're getting old. I'm disabled.
You're not.
Kelly's disabled. How many of them? Andy and Amy, you gotta take care of us.
We're emotionally disabled.
I'm fine. Well, there's that.
Yeah.
But I have that under control right now, my emotional disability.
I want when are we allowed to become, I mean, we're a little weird, but when are we allowed to become like that neighbor weird? You know, that neighbor when you were a kid growing up and your mom and dad be like, don't even go there. Don't even get in the yard. Don't play on the sidewalk in front of that house. Level of weird. Not because we look like sexual predators. I mean,
well,
because we are so
like?
not concerned with anything around our building. Except other to keep people off their lawn. They're like, not on that lawn.
Unfortunately, I never had that neighbor.
One of these dogs farted again.
Oh my gosh. So you're saying that you want to become the weirdo hermit neighbor.
I'm saying, have we crossed that threshold yet?
No. No.
I have not hardly been outside. And I know Kelley, we were talking about this because Kelly's been convalescing with your foot injury for much longer than I have, and I'm already like, I'm getting like crazy up here, man.
Sling comes off.
Is it like Rear Window yet?
Late January.
You didn't say any of the membrane?
Yeah. Well, you got any tips?
No, I do not. You just got to, I don't know. I don't do too well when I can't move around. So
yeah. Are you good right? I mean, you feeling pretty good right now?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm trying, I try not to focus on it and to try and focus on the progress in terms of that situation. Cause I don't really go anywhere, other than to my chiropractor and doctor's appointments. But no, I don't have any good advice. I just,
you know what's getting me through it right now is like, I was texting you about this earlier. Court Cam was helping out. Court Cam was getting me through the hump. I've been watching a lot of movies.
So
what is Court Cam? Describe.
Cam?
Oh, it's just court footage with a narrator. It's what's his name? John Abrams or whatever. The guy who used to host Live PD.
Oh, Dan
Abrams?
Yeah. That guy always seemed like a tool.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him. All I know is like he hosts.
No, it's just like that's how he looks to me.
I gotcha. Just snap judgment.
I'll be apologizing for this in 11 years.
When he saves an orphan from like, I don't know what. Anyways, it's just courtroom footage. There's all kinds of fun stuff and sad stuff and crazy stuff. It's everything. And it's just like what court TV used to be,
give
where
us an
it's
example,
fly on the wall type
Give
thing.
us an example of something crazy that you saw on court.
People
Cam.
representing themselves as sovereign citizens is my favorite. It's just more common than you think.
experts in bird law.
Yeah, so weird stuff where like you can't. But I am the human of man. You can't. You unlaid, and they always have like the wired rim, like Ben Franklin. They look like they came out of a time machine.
If I ever do that, I am going to request a pair of suspenders and a handkerchief.
Oh
where
yeah,
I'm going to be blotting my sweat. Even
represent yourself.
Oh, you're gonna go Southern.
Yeah,
you gotta go with that.
Southern gentleman lawyer.
Yeah,
I got you.
Get one of those Colonel Sanders ties.
Get your white suit.
Yeah.
People are dumb though. I mean, it's stuff. I think you'd enjoy it, Kelley. I really do. As much as you like Judy Justice.
I will definitely be checking it out.
Yeah. So and sometimes the judges are real pricks too. It's like it's not slanted in any way. It's just literally just raw footage with a little bit of narration to set it up.
So here's my question: like, are they blurring anybody's face out?
No, not yet. Not that I've seen.
So
I've seen a few.
What about their
episodes.
dicks?
Well,
I haven't had a dick pop out yet, but I expect it to happen.
Where do they get this footage? From a courtroom? And are you consenting to be filmed and then put into a fucking TV show and ads sold against your face for this one bad day you had in court?
I don't know.
Maybe you were just in there for like a littering and you're like, shit, I was having a bad day.
I think it's a matter of public record unless a judge declares to keep a closed courtroom. So I think that I
find it a little gross. It's
part of the protection. Like my understanding is like Kelley was just saying, like they can keep cameras out, but there's like I think a certain amount of public scrutiny that
Oh
keeps.
no, I would love film these courtroom proceedings. I'm okay with that. I'm just
You don't
like,
want it to be entertainment.
some fucking production company bought it.
Yeah.
Now listen, I watch that shit when it pops up on the internet.
Oh, it's immoral.
crazy.
There's no question there. You're trafficking in other people's misery for profit.
Would you be able to
But it's entertaining.
get a cut of the profits if you were on that footage?
That's what I'm saying. Throw me $100.
I don't know. I wonder how that deal
What if you
is.
just got your life
It can't
back
be
together?
good for the
Yeah,
people.
there's probably-
You just got your kids back, and now your neighbor saw this on court
I
cam.
don't think there's a waiver you can sign that says like I
And-
consent to
Yeah.
show my worst moments on screen.
I would be very interested. Listen, do I think many Americans would say, yeah, sure, go right ahead. I'll tell all my
I
friends.
got nothing to hide.
I mean, there you go.
I'll be looking for the cameras, like looking right into them,
Andy will be performing.
like breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
So between court cam and the ridiculousness, those are the things that have been keeping me. I don't even want to say keeping me sane, or
Freddie found ridiculousness on MTV.
which has been around forever, right?
Yeah, but he just found
I
it.
just started watching it because I used to be something that I would be like, dumbasses, and like I would just scroll past it. But I've gotten past that in my life of snapping.
Well,
to
I didn't
judgment
even know what
about
it was
people
till you
like
guys told me about it. So
Wait, I think we were too old.
because it's MTV.
When it started.
It's like I haven't seen that
Yeah.
in how many years?
Many.
You haven't
Same.
watched MTV in
No,
years?
'cause-
No.
Yeah. Well, Amy, we watched Jersey Shore when it was on. How long ago was that?
That was like
Exactly.
15 years ago, almost.
That's what I'm
That's
talking about.
that's the last time I was probably plugged into real pop culture happenings was probably 15 years ago.
Wow, honey.
I'm guessing where I was actually making an effort, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck. Fuck it. It's all nonsense.
Fuck it, man.
I'm just gonna watch
Is that-
whatever's
It's a
on.
little like,
Is that where your pop culture references end?
yeah.
At 2006?
I mean,
that.
even that it feels new to me. Like if you were talking about something from 2006, that's still like fresh off the presses.
Is he still talking about GTL?
Yeah, he says it every day.
Jim
No,
Can Laundry for
I mean,
those who
for-
don't know.
For real, listeners, I think he's run out of like good television and movies.
Well, it's not that. I'm saving all the good stuff for when Amy's available. Here's the thing. Right now, Amy was working in here all day, and I'm out there, and I get, with one arm, I get maybe 2 hours worth of work done spread out over 4 hours, which is hardly anything. So I got to fill that time. And you know what it's getting filled with? Is everything Amy
Court
doesn't want to
cam.
see.
I mean, Court Cam probably is fun,
Origin.
even though
You
I
would
just
probably love
had
Court
this
Cam,
like
yeah.
long diatribe against
But you'd still
it.
love it. It's right up your alley.
Well, yeah, because I'm trash and I like watching trash.
But no, I'm just saying, like, I am ingesting things like, because I really would love to watch like
I don't know that-
Homeland, for instance.
Can we have a minute on the word ingest after that?
Oh, that plane.
Oh no! Why you gotta bring back
No,
the real
because the
depressing
word
shit?
ingest
Jeez.
immediately, I'm like, oh god, that plane ate
Yeah.
that man. That's just
What a-
immediately.
What a depressing episode so far.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say. We're a little weirdly melancholy up top, and I just think it is.
yeah,
The world is a little funky funk. Hi.
it's true. Well,
Hiya.
you ready to get back? We'll
Yes.
hop on the roulette here, and then we'll be right back at you.
Yeah.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for straight to video Russian roulette.
I can't believe you're moving this summer.
We're always gonna be friends. Pick you up in town? It's gonna be hot this weekend. Should we do something? Think we're alone now. The beating of our hearts is the only sound.
Who's over there?
This weird little building where that girl was sacrificed in a satanic ritual.
Let's go in.
Come on, Abs. One more adventure?
Abby?
Jesus, where were you? Where were you?
Your friend, she get sick? Physically, she got all grotesque and gnarly. But then she got better, right?
She looks copacetic, but up here, you can cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
I guess that's one way to put it.
Dollars to donuts, it's demonic possession. She needs an exorcism.
You want my best friend back, you piece of shit!
What was that?
Hot damn, we got ourselves a demon! Woo!
I think we're alone now.
Oh my god! This is Lacoste!
There doesn't seem to be anyone around.
It's a banger of a song, isn't it?
Fuck yeah, Tiffany.
Great version. All versions, the two main versions of that song are so good.
Yeah.
I had that Tiffany album.
Oh, did you go to in the Hermal tour?
No. Anyway. My best friend's exorcism.
Yes. No.
No?
No.
I'm sorry.
It sounded like a no to me as well.
I loved the book.
It's another one of those cases that it's not for me.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I think that's the case of a lot of the movies I've been watching lately.
Because we're getting too old.
Yes.
We're aged out of the audience.
Because
no,
I'm honestly, like I've said it before, I'm just sick of this 80s nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to gatekeep 80s culture. I don't want to say because 80s is not a culture. I'm not saying cultural appropriation.
Whatever they call themselves anyway, if that was like something someone identified as 80s culture person.
80s kid.
I guess so.
Give me a 90s kid, an 80s kid.
But it just seems so.
I think that's correct.
Yeah.
Surface level 80s. Like just because you throw in some big hair and some greatest hits from the 80s.
Yeah.
And some
Is there a
neon
Rubik's
colors.
Cube in it? That's my litmus test.
Yeah, it's like just the dialogue is just very forced. Is like Valley Girl almost.
Yeah.
Like, you
like,
know.
gag me with your dialogue.
Exactly. Like yeah. What do people say sit and spin anymore?
I mean,
that
I
even
do,
an 80s
but
thing?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought that was an
stop
earlier.
when you get to the elbows. The way we always finish that.
It
one.
was definitely. I'm with Amy on that. I feel like it. Some people probably still carried it into the 80s, but I feel like that was a much more popular late 60s, early.
Yeah, like a
I
Happy
feel like
Days.
that's a Happy Days. Yeah.
Anyway,
Sit and spin.
it just had a lot of like 80s
Sit on
isms
it,
that
Ralph.
were. I don't know why this was set in the 80s exactly.
I think the book was.
But I don't think it served a necessary purpose of setting it in the 80s,
Right.
for me at least. Well, see, I like the lead actresses; they were good, but this movie doesn't know what it wanted to be. It's just a lot of tonal shifts of zaniness, and then some really, oh my gosh, they're just getting dork. And just pacing issues. They lingered on some scenes a little too long. And the end just seemed like it was going on forever. There was an exorcism. I guess, because it's in the title, I guess maybe it should be the focus.
They're like, we got to spend 30 minutes on the exorcism.
But this leading up to it, it just felt so fast, and how the character development was so quick and unearned. It was a lot of unearned stuff.
Did you see Satanic Panic? The other, they adapted that, or I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it was a novel, but is the other one where it was Grady Hendrix and they made a movie out of it, where I felt like his voice. No, I don't think anybody's captured what he does in his writing.
I like Satanic Panic. I will say
It was fun.
The movie or the book, what is beautiful about it is the friendship between the two girls. And the
that came
development of
across
them.
very well. But it was everything around the
Yeah.
the girls and their friendship. There's other two girls in their friend group, and it's those things like, why are you guys friends? Maybe it's because they're kind of outcasts and they're clinging on to each other. But maybe that's very 80s-ish, because a lot of times in 80s movies you see these ragtag groups and like you always wonder why they're friends.
Yeah, it's because we didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
We got sifted down to the bottom together.
It's whoever, like in your neighborhood.
Rats clinging to a ship.
I mean, you could put it that way. I like the romantic side
Okay.
of it. Losers Club.
Yeah. But the other two friends, like there's things that happen to them because this girl got possessed, and they happen, but you don't really feel for the things that are happening to them because they're kind of awful people. Yeah. Just like there's some, like I said, tonal shifts. There's like this wacky power team character. I kind of like that. Remember the power team?
Oh, yeah.
The religious strong guy.
We were just talking about this.
At the New Year's Eve meetup with patrons.
Oh, did somebody
I was
get the
just
phone book
explaining the power team to Alise because we just watched Bigger, Faster, Stronger recently, the documentary about juicing.
Yeah.
And somebody like very briefly mentions the power team on there, and I had to like break down for her what that was.
Did you see a live performance of the power team?
They came to Coleraine one time.
At high school, yeah.
Do you remember them talking about exorcising a demon out of a woman?
Is that true? Or are you referencing the movie?
No, they really did say that in front of. I don't remember if it was at the one they did at the school because we saw them. My friend's mom bought tickets to see them while they were in town. They had come to our school, so I got to see the power team perform during the day. And then my friend's mom took us to a special engagement of the power team.
Was that like the extras, what they can't show in schools?
As much religious,
triple extra,
as much religious garbage as you see in the schoolroom version of that performance. There's way more overt.
Oh, I bet.
Mysticism in the full church version, where he talks about exorcising a demon from some goth girl.
I will say I was really entertained by that show when they came to Coleraine.
It was fun.
We fucked up the microphone, my friend Holly and I, that they used for that performance. It kept cutting. No, we had borrowed it from the music teacher. We were playing at a party. Our band was playing at someone's birthday party. And so we borrowed the school's microphone from the marching band teacher. And then we kept it for a long time and kind of got banged around and dropped. And
you pour a glass of water down the back of it?
Yeah. And then we returned it that day. Like he was like, guys, I need you to bring back. That's how he talked.
The power team's pretty pissed off right now. If you don't come, I don't know what they're capable of doing. I've seen them blow up a heating pad until it exploded.
We got an assembly tomorrow. I need you to bring back the school's microphone. And so we brought it back, and then it really just kept cutting out and didn't work very well. Of course, it could have been the cord as well.
Could have
might not have.
Well, you did the school a favor.
Could have been Satan.
You did the audience a favor because nobody needs to hear that. Even though I said
we still heard most of it. Okay. They just shouted.
Basically.
If you haven't, I implore you, as anyone who was subjected to the power team growing up, to go watch The Righteous Gemstones, because in the most recent season, there is an entire arc with a fake power team, and it is fucking great.
I will say I did go home that day and try to rip a phone book in half.
Yeah, I did too. We tried all that shit. Except for the heating bottle. We didn't have those heating bottles.
They said that it was so dangerous
water bottle,
because if he didn't keep blowing, the air would rush into his lungs and explode his lungs.
Yes. And he would kill him instantly. We talked about that at the meetup too. We were talking about the hot water bottle killing you if you weren't strong enough to keep pushing through with the help of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior.
Can you imagine how cool that would be to see the air just rushing into this power team's guy's lungs and him just exploding.
And exploding him like the guy in Big Trouble in Little China. Just like, him just swelling and swelling.
We lose more power teammates like that. I don't know why we keep doing it.
Yeah, it's like
seems pretty stupid.
It's like an inadvertent Gallagher show or something.
Yeah, like reverse Gallagher.
Like here's
the watermelon.
Oh, I love a reverse Gallagher.
It's when you take religion and you try to put that into things that are just life. Stop it. Stop trying to corrupt being strong as something Jesus gives you.
Do you remember the lady
or
that
being rich is because Jesus wants you to?
Well, another lady came to a Coleraine and did a dribbling show.
Oh my God, the one who spun basketballs.
She spun basketballs, and apparently did I say that? God can give you the power to spin basketballs, multiple ones.
I don't remember that one.
And then there's that guy who had like covered in burns from. He was all burned up. And then
I don't remember that one either.
And I think he played an instrument or something.
God wants you,
but all his fingers were melted together.
To spend your life being cool.
That was a good one though.
Don't be.
Yeah, I think God wanted me to stay home from school a lot, so that's probably why I missed some of these.
Yeah. How do we We were talking about My Best Friend's Exorcism.
Yes.
I know that's how we got that.
Like I brought up
because there was a power team.
Because
there was a power team riff in the movie.
Because I guess exercise and exorcism kind of
national
go together.
Fitness test.
Yes,
because it's the 80s.
Do they still do that?
Like I said, that's just they're just throwing a bunch of 80s things in to make it seem 80s, but they don't have the heart of the 80s. It was very surfacey.
Yeah.
So it's not a recommend for me, but like I said, it's not for me maybe, but I don't know who this is for.
Young.
Maybe read the book.
Yeah, read the book.
I highly recommend it. Cool. Thank you, Andy. I'm sorry that you didn't
avoid the lines at the ticket counter at your local theaters and Cineplexes and just read the book.
Read a book.
Take
Get from
a
the library.
look. It's in a book.
All right.
It's a booger.
Bug. The guy's name was Bug, and I didn't know to expect that. Okay, is all I'm saying.
It might be for Boogie. Are you sure it's not for Boogie?
No, it's Booger. I'll look it up. Look up Booger.
I believe you.
Why is this so hard to believe when we had a friend named Booger for years?
Because that was his nickname, and he didn't want it. We were bullying him.
He embraced
Well, I
it.
think this is also this person's nickname. I don't think that's their given name on their birth certificate. Probably.
No, the doctor handed the baby to his mother and said, I shall name him Booger.
Congratulations.
The doctor's like, you sure?
Maybe it's a family name. You don't know.
It's fine. If you're
Booger the Fifth.
You're like going
his last name is Boogerworth.
You're going through the world and you're like, yeah, my name's Booger. Deal with it. I kind of love the confidence.
Yeah.
See, that would be a very 80s thing. If he was a side character, his last name was Boogerworth, and everybody just called him Booger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His family's real rich, but he's like a slackery, like ne'er-do-well.
In order to
the best friend character.
The only way he'll inherit the company business is if
he's the Shaggy.
Boogerworth a household name.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So for next week, the roulette movie will be Significant Other.
Oh.
This is on Paramount Plus. Follows a couple, Ruth and Harry, who take a remote backpacking trip through the Pacific Northwest, but things take a dark turn when they realize they may not be alone.
It's weird to see 80-year-olds go backpacking.
You ready?
So ready.
Yeah, those names.
You can't really hear it, but you should be able to see it. It's going, yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm sure it's going to be me.
It's Freddie.
It's going to be me.
Stupid. Yes. So there you go, babe.
Wheel. When you said, is it going, I should have just said no.
You know, I was telling Freddie, I always forget to check like Peacock or Paramount Plus or HBO because I wouldn't consider them places for non-theatrical horror movie releases. But occasionally, shit pops up.
It's true.
Yeah.
All right.
Once in a lifetime, there comes a motion picture which changes the whole history of motion pictures. A picture so stunning in its effect, so vast in its impact, that it profoundly affects the lives of all who see it. One such film is...
Very good, thank you. Yes, thank you. Next, please.
Once in a lifetime, there comes a motion picture which changes the whole history of motion pictures.
Yes, thank you. Next.
Once in a lifetime! Oh, for goodness sake, let us do it. Once in a lifetime, there comes a motion picture which changes the whole history of motion pictures. Now, from the people who brought you the 39th anniversary re-release of Monty Python and the Holy Grail...
And are already at work on the 41st anniversary re-release of Monty Python and the Holy Grail...
comes the long-awaited 40th anniversary re-release of Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it!
Back in the cinemas in this special new edition.
I told them we already got one.
With up to 25% more peril.
No, it's too perilous. We are the knights who say...
Bring your friends.
Carry coconut shells.
Wear fancy dress.
This isn't my nose, it's a false one.
You could even sing along if you like.
Stop that. You're not going into a song while I'm here.
See it again for the first time on the big screen.
Your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberry.
Or if you've never seen it, see it now for the first time.
Or see it for the first time since you last saw it.
Or if you're very old or very ill, see it for what may be the last time.
I'm not dead. I think I could pull through, sir.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Back in cinemas for the first time since the last time.
God be praised.
Some good shit.
Oh my goodness. I was laughing just listening to that. Thank you for indulging me in my choice.
I love it, Kelley. I love it.
That's our
Monty
job
Python
this month, is to
and the Holy
indulge each
Grail.
other.
I forgot how much I love this.
My favorite of the Monty Python movies, and I know some people will say that the others have more going on, maybe, or I don't know who would say. And maybe this is a very obvious choice for favorite if you're a Monty Python fan.
They say Monty Python. I bought this and watched all the extras on it. They say Americans tend to think that Holy Grail is the best, and that English people like Life of Brian better.
Yeah, and actually a lot of people that I know like Life of Brian better. I think Alise likes Life of Brian better.
This is very funny too.
I haven't seen Life of Brian so long I wouldn't be able to compare.
It's on Netflix.
I'm a simpleton. And I really love this one best. This one, for my choices, a lot of times I try to, for staff picks, I try to think of something that I really, that kind of has a little bit of some kind of meaning to me, or something that's a little special to me. And this is, and I also like to pick comedies a lot because it's my other sort of favorite genre of movies. Actually, I probably like it better than horror now. Than I did, it was probably flipped, 10 or 12 years ago. But, and this was one that my brother got me into when I was a kid. I had it taped. I had the edited version taped off of Channel 19. It was such a dusty, dingy transfer. The first time and then later. And so anyway, my brother got me into this movie. We watched it all the time together. I thought it was the funniest fucking thing I'd ever seen when I was like, I don't know, 11, 12 years old. And
fancy pants.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so fancy. And so I watched it over and over again. And then someone gifted me, I don't recall who, a VHS copy that had been taped from the Laserdisc version. So I got to see an 80s like DVD selection screen. I mean, I couldn't do anything because it was just taped onto a VHS.
I love that they taped it for you from their Laserdisc.
It wasn't even for me. It was theirs, and they were just like, "Oh, you love this movie? Here, have this."
Yeah, you're slowly, and it's like you got more experience points, and so you went up to level 1.
Yeah,
and then you're like, now I got it where the swears in there and the see-through rocks.
That's right.
Laser discs, they're not like they didn't come back like vinyl.
They're too big.
We're just done with that, right?
Well, nobody got hooked on the fidelity of a laser disc.
It's not like the quality was any better.
Gotcha. Okay.
Then we're like, oh, I need to watch it on Laserdisc.
Okay.
But I will say the quality was vastly better than the version I had been watching.
No shit.
And it actually kind of blew my dick off. I had it reattached, don't worry. But at the time, it blew my fucking dick off.
Did you put it in a glass of milk?
I had ice. We always had a bucket of ice around because our dicks are constantly getting blown off by things because we were experiencing them for the first time. So many things because we were young.
It's true, our dicks are always popping off.
So we kept
stitches by now, right?
We kept. Well, they have this glue. It's like a rubber cement, and it just kind of evaporates, and your dick is just there.
Wouldn't it be funny? The little boys, he's too easily impressed, and their parents are like, "We can't get him around too much stimuli because his dick keeps getting blown off."
Like the kid that just poops their pants every time or throws up every time they get a little too excited.
It's like the boy in the plastic bubble. They had to protect him.
Yeah, we have to protect him from anything like a transformer. No, GoBots are okay.
This kid's dick is never going to work as an adult if we don't stop showing him stuff.
How sheltered is he? What if he just anything can blow his dick off?
Yeah, a nice warm breeze on a spring day.
Don't take him to Star Wars. Take him to Battle Beyond the Stars.
Yes.
So it was just so much. I was like, wow, holy shit, this looks like a real movie. I thought it was like, I thought it was filmed with the same camera that filmed all the Westerns that also look like that on Channel 19. And then I saw those also later, and I was like, oh,
you know,
that's
the
just
funny
the way.
thing too, it looks big, but like it's like a low budget movie, and it's also like if you look at on the DVD, if you have the extras on there, they go back to the filming locations 40 years later, and it's like that Scotland wouldn't let them film in any of the National Registry sites because they said it was inconsistent with their like reverie for which like those sites should be held. So they ended up in this, like, there's this little castle, and they use like the same room to film like all the castle scenes.
Was this like sponsored by the BBC or something? It just
no,
felt
this was
like that because
this was
because they're English.
No, because it felt small.
Well, because the
like
money,
low.
it was paid for by a bunch of rock artists.
Okay.
Like
we're rock stars, yeah. Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and those guys.
And or maybe not Elton John. There's some controversy of whether or not Elton John helped pay for it. Why he hasn't confirmed it.
It looked like a TV movie at times. Something you see on BBC.
I think it was a low budget movie.
And they directed it. So, I mean, that's what they were coming from, too, was their BBC series. So that's probably, I mean, that's how they knew how to work.
This is really the beginning of comedy as we know it, in my opinion. I mean, talking about the show Monty Python.
It's definitely it's sort of the granddaddy of well, there was a lot of sketch comedy in the 50s on American TV too.
But it was like it didn't have that through.
It was
line.
a different kind.
Like
it definitely
the through line is the thing. It's sophisticated, not saying like in the term well, very sophisticated, but like it's sophisticated and it has more parts to it. Like they connect the sketches, and then when they get to finally make this feature, like I guess they released one movie before this that was just a collection of sketches from the show. This is like the peak of it. It's like they took all these ideas and they told a story with sketches, and I think that's like the best kind of comedy now. Like. That's why you ended up with Kids in the Hall and Mr. Show. Like without Monty Python, none of that stuff existed.
Well, yes, certainly agreed. And I just love taking. It's just such it's quaint and irreverent and bawdy, but it's also very like sweet, not sweet like itself, but it's just like when you watch, you're like,
it's wholesome.
It's adorable
because even when it's not, they're like boys. It feels like little boys playing.
So, okay,
for the most part, right?
I'm going to say that I did not care for this.
I didn't think you would.
It was even too precious for me. It's because I should like this.
Yeah, I thought you would. Yeah,
because I loved Kids in the Hall. It reminded me a lot of Eddie Izzard actually, just like his long form storytelling.
He's hugely influenced
Can I guess what you're going to say?
Yes.
I feel that you got to this too late because you've experienced this movie through the eyes of everybody who over quotes it.
I didn't see this until I was
esteem.
like in my teens and 20s. So,
but were you kind of burnt out on the people who were into it as well? I feel like I could feel that coming out of your mouth.
Maybe it's because I watched The Simpsons first and they made fun of like the nerds that like this. But for me, it was just the jokes went on a little too long.
Yeah. That's the same complaint that Gene Siskel had about it.
And just watching this,
you're such a Siskel.
You are a Siskel.
I was making fun of it by laughing like you know what I mean? That's like it's just so aggressively British, even though I love British stuff.
It's like too much. You can still have too much of something you love. I had too much pizza yesterday.
Listen,
man.
I would not call myself a Monty Python fan. I haven't watched the show in several decades at this point. Didn't watch it when I was a kid. Did not watch it at 11 or 12, Kelley. Like this was all came to me later after I met Freddie, probably in my 20s. It didn't hit for me. But I tried to go into it this time watching Holy Grail and go, remember, Amy, this is the prototype for all those things that you loved. You know, I didn't come to this until after I'd had SNL and the Kids in the Hall and all these brilliant examples of comedy and sketch comedy. So that was just, but I tried to give it more grace this time. Try to go, okay, stop it. This is where all that came from. And I enjoyed myself. Listen, was I laughing out loud? Not really. Do I want to watch it again?
It's like,
not really. But I enjoyed myself.
I was amused.
We were amused.
He wouldn't feed it to the lions. But these emperors, Andy and Amy, would let it live.
Like I said, I acknowledged their influence on everything else.
You don't have to like it just because
No,
they're
I
icons.
like it. No, I'm not. I'm sure, maybe it's just my own insecurities of not liking this because I just feel like it's held in such high regard.
But also, it's considered kind of nerdy to like it. So you're safe in the middle either way. You can't come up. There's no wrong opinion about Monty Python.
I know, but it's like my insecurities. That's why I don't do the music league because I just don't.
You're worried you won't like
Andy,
the right
what do you
things.
say all the time? Like what you like.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're not saying that we shouldn't like it.
I like parts of this.
Yeah,
the little bits where the jokes didn't go on forever. I think.
For instance,
just the rabbit at the end just attacking everybody.
I love that.
And that's just that one little scene where the guy narrating the movie. And the guy, one of the knights comes up and just slits his throat on a horse.
That's the beginnings of Too Many Cooks, man. That's that sort of thing where.
But I'm just saying, I like that because it was quick and out, and I got it right away.
Yeah. You want
the aptly named Sir not appearing in this film?
Yeah. That's.
I mean, come on.
And I like certain parts of it, but it just wore out as welcome. A lot of bits did.
It was that way for a lot of people that saw it. You're not alone. I don't want you to think that you're crazy for saying that because like I've known people over the years. I've shown this. I'm like Kelley. I kind of like I went through my love affair with this movie, and I kind of wanted everyone in the world to see it. Like my parents didn't like it. They were not Python people. I was introduced to Monty Python by my friend's dad, who was just out of prison when we were 12, I want to say, and we started playing Dungeons and Dragons, and my friend's dad, that was like his thing. He was into Dungeons and Dragons in jail, but he also introduced me to Monty Python.
What was he in jail for?
I don't even know what the original stuff was.
Wow.
But
I'm just wondering if you should have been hanging out with him.
Who knows? Probably not. But he introduced me to a lot of cool shit like D&D and Monty Python. It was those two things I probably would not have. I would have been drawn to him probably at some point, but it wouldn't have been the deep dive that you're thrown into with a guy who's out of jail with no job. There's a lot of time to hang out and try to put all of his culture on a couple of 12-year-old boys. Be like, Jethro Tull is cool. Queen is cool.
Jethro Tull is cool.
Yeah, like all that stuff stuck with me. Like I connected with it in a way I wasn't connecting with stuff that maybe my mom and dad wanted me to get into. You know, like baseball.
Mm-hmm. My dad did like Monty Python's Flying Circus. I can't remember if he liked. I don't know that I ever watched this with him. He was also like my brother diverged a little bit as sort of my two culture ambassadors. My dad loved British comedy, but he fell more towards the Are You Being Served, sort of the sitcom-y.
I loved Are You Being Served.
I used to watch that on PBS all the time.
Constantly.
Yeah, my father he does like Monty Python. He did like the Flying Circus. I remember watching bits of that on PBS with him when I was very, very little. But more Faulty Towers was my dad's thing, and so I will forever like that. Again, is a show that just absolutely
comfort and connection. Yeah.
And just makes me laugh so hard. And this movie still, like, I was laughing my ass off during the trailer just listening to him. It works for me. I like all the bits to go on.
Yeah.
The Castle Anthrax is probably my favorite. And just the line, "What's your name? Sir Galahad, the Chaste." Mine's Zoot. Just Zoot. It's just it feels I get that's a very Mel Brooksy kind of line right there.
Yeah,
or Tim.
I think I didn't like I don't care for Mel Brooks.
Yeah, you're not a Mel. You don't like silly shit, Andy. Andy doesn't like silly
You love
stuff.
Airplane. Airplane is like 1,000 times sillier than Mel Brooks.
He's xenophobic.
I'm very simple.
He likes it quick though. He likes. I think I figured it out.
The Wayans
right?
Brothers stuff. I love. Because
Andy likes a quick, in and out, silly.
Me too. Where do I order that?
If anything that's trying to do
like
anything other than say this is a booger, have a laugh, or this wrong hole, fool.
I get you. No, and that's probably why you don't like long form or short form improv.
But like I said, I should love this because
this wasn't improv.
Like Eddie Izzard's like stand up. It's like more storytelling.
Yeah,
and he has like a through line throughout all his shows. And he always references back to certain things, and I should love it, but maybe it got repetitive for me.
I think you don't like it because I think I'm always trying to play psychologist about how
there's
Andy
a lot of
interacts
bits
with
where
media.
it's just like feigned indignation. And
well, I
like,
want to.
I said this. No,
you think it's
but I meant
insincere.
this.
I think you think it's insincere.
That's just British people, I think.
Right? Do you feel it? You're like, you're trying to. Do you hate Mike Birbiglia?
No, I like his. I love his stuff.
Ooh, Elsa farted.
Oh my god!
It smells like straight eggs.
In your general direction?
Yeah.
She did have a lot of steak last night, and I think it's still working its way through her. We gave her a treat.
I was just about to say another thing that you just reminded me of that I love about the movie.
The art
Please,
was
you talk
beautiful.
For a second. Terry Gilliam's animation, yeah.
It was gorgeous.
That's one of my favorite things.
And so creative. It's just very
part
creative.
It's part of what makes it special, I think. And I remember what I was going to say. What I love about this too is I feel like they're trying to give you this like Middle Ages that really kind of looks, I mean, who knows, like to the accuracy, but like they want you to see like this is a gross, disgusting, violent, just
he all covered in shit. Remember that line? Actually, that's the only line in the movie that's improvised. They say
it must be a king. Why? He hasn't got shit all over him.
Yeah, he hasn't got shit all over him.
But I will say, like, I Disenchanted did the same thing with like riffing on the medieval.
Oh my god, I love that show.
But I love that so much more than this.
I was gonna bring that up because Disenchanted is so Monty Python and the Holy Grail, like animated. It's almost exactly the same kind of vibe.
Yeah, for sure. I like Disenchanted as well.
It just wasn't for me.
Yeah,
we got it, man.
I get
You're
you.
Okay. You're off the hook, Andy. No one's coming to take you away.
Freddie always tries to figure out why I don't like certain things. He tries to pick my brain.
I do. You know why that is? I want to know myself better. If I understand why you didn't like something, I'll have a deeper understanding why I did. It's an exercise in Socratic method.
They're just
weirdo.
I don't want to explain why I like certain things. You just like certain things. You don't know why.
Another fart.
Some things are irrational.
Do you like the smell of these dog?
I understand. That's why the way I don't like, I don't like Journey, and no one. People want to figure out why, but you'll never.
It's hard. It's hard to express when you just don't like something, especially like if you're the only person in the room that doesn't like it. I have been there. I know it's weird where you're like, well, I didn't care for that at all. And then, but I'm always kind of curious about Andy's inner workings.
I get that too.
I
always
there
look
is
to know
something much more high-minded going on when Andy says.
Well, sometimes.
Well, you think
sometimes there's a reason.
Yeah. I feel like there's a deeper reason.
All right.
Sometimes there's a reason, and then I feel like sometimes there's just not. Yeah. Or if there is, you can't quantify it. Yeah. And if there is a reason, I am interested in knowing why someone doesn't like something. But I also get, because again, there's a lot of things I don't know why I don't like it.
But
exactly.
even the Pythons weren't even all on the same page with this sort of stuff. Because if you watch Jabberwocky, which is Terry Gilliam without the other Terry, you can see the difference in like when they split off and do their own stuff, like who was into what style. And I think that it was kind of that compromise that created something so unique. Was that,
and it was a troubled production.
Yeah,
Graham Chapman was like he was an alcoholic and pretty fucked up most of the time. Yeah, he was real fucked up during this.
Really? Did they have did they butt heads a lot or did they get along mostly?
I think they fought in the creative way that like the creative people fight.
Do you feel like Cleese is just won't stop and they're like, can you shut up for 5 minutes? That would be like one of the things I would imagine that would happen. But I don't know anything about those dudes.
Cleese definitely seems like the alpha of the group.
All I know is that Eric Idle is the fucking. They put his face in the moon at the end of Journey into Imagination at Epcot, and it's weird.
I love it.
Freaks me out every time.
And I love that it bothers somebody that I know.
I love that part of the ride. I think it's great.
I would say I used to have a big crush on Michael Palin.
Michael Palin's kind of cute, yeah.
Yeah, he's the Paul. He's the cute one.
He was a very handsome older man too, because he had that travel series on PBS.
Yeah.
See, I'm a snooty bitch too, because I used to watch
snooty bitch.
I used to love PBS. I still do.
And he's like, I love PBS, but I hate CET, and I can't tell you why.
This movie to me is just it's just joy, and it's tied up partially with just where it came from for me and watching it over and over again as just young, and then through my 20s. I mean, this was a video I watched this always. Like it was comfort to me. And so every second of this for me is joy. The music I love, and I sing all of it as I go. I'm reciting most of the movie as we go and apologizing or asking if it's okay because I can't stop. Sort of like with Jaws.
No,
it's like,
I
if
love
you're going to
how
watch this with me, you're going to have to.
I love how much you love this, Kelley.
It's such a it's a good one. It's a special movie to me.
And I love it when somebody loves a movie so much they can recite it. It brings more joy to me watching somebody watch a movie.
Steel Magnolias, for instance.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a few, but this one I really it was one I haven't watched in a very long time. When we were talking about, Alise was asking me, "What are you going to do for your staff picks?" And I was just going through things, trying to think of comedies. And I was like, oh man, you know what I haven't watched in a really long time. And she hadn't watched it in a really long time. And I don't think we've ever, we started it once together maybe, but didn't finish it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We, Airwolf, yeah. And again, just both of us just laughing our asses off the whole time. So it's not for everybody, but it is so great.
I mean, like if it's not for you, you'll know pretty quickly because the first,
you'll know immediately.
The opening credits, the gag on the opening credits will probably be like, "Oh, this is not my kind of humor."
That's your litmus test, because and even the first time as a kid, I kind of got it because again, my dad and Kevin both have brought me up a little bit on British humor, but the first couple times I was still like, "Did they really fuck up?" And I try to understand people. I was a 12-year-old without the internet. I know there's someone's like, "Oh my God, at 12, I would have got that shit." No, you wouldn't have.
Shut up.
Dude, I forgot about the subtitles. I went to turn them off.
And, yeah, exactly.
My memory is terrible though.
So I get if you'll know pretty quickly even before the movie starts.
I liked it when it first started, but then it became a paragraph you had to read. Again, I felt like they.
Oh, you mean just the subtitle sequence?
You had to read it,
but it just felt like another example of them beating a joke to death for me.
I gotcha. I think everybody has a different sustain. When you like in music, you have that sustain of a note. Like I think comedy is just like that, where some people like a little short note, and they're like dance music people, and then there's the people that are like the easy listening people who are like, man, go wackier, keep going in, go deeper, dig deeper into that idea, man. It's funky.
I think that actually is I think a lot of times the point is let's keep pushing this and keep making and see how long we can do this before people just like throw their hands up in the air like they just don't care because they no longer care.
Comedy things I just don't care for, and like Tim and Eric, I don't really care for that either. Yeah. But along the lines of like super absurd comedy, it's like, I think you should leave. I think that's brilliant.
We need to get him stoned.
I think it's faster. I do think it's faster. Like I think you should leave. It does go through their stuff faster. Not crazy faster, a little. I do think it's like a spectrum. It's real fine tuning stuff with comedy for people. I think.
I keep finding and losing this point, so I'm gonna say it.
Say it,
because you guys won't shut up.
Yeah,
just kidding. The whole absurdity of Arthur just going places and going, "I am your king. I'm the king of the Britons." Who are you? King. King of what? King of the Britons. And people are like, huh? That is fucking funny. And what I gather is somewhat accurate.
Right.
And really silly. And it's a real thing. And then
it's just imperialism without all the crazy violence.
The jokes where they pass those dudes, they're just digging in the dirt. And he's like, "I'm going to be your king. Come with me." And they're like, "But we got this great setup." And like, he basically describes like socialism.
Come and see the violence inherent in the system. Come and see the violence inherent in the system.
It's like those democratic socialist protesters you see everywhere. That was
when
great.
they cut back to them later and they have this meta moment. This is what I love about Python is later in the movie, they cut back to the scene you're talking about, Amy, where the socialist farmers are describing.
Well, they walk back past them.
Yeah, and they're doing a review of all the sketches in comparison, like what the best sketch in the movie was, kind of like.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
At least ours wasn't a string of pussy jokes.
At least I was going to string of pussy jokes.
And it's just like, it's just funny how they're commenting on the writing. It's a look inside.
Well, even they say get on with it over and over again,
Right.
like to acknowledge, like we're pushing this past what you're going to like.
But I love that writer's room vibe, that because it reminds me when I watch. I think now coming back to this movie, I love it so much more than I did as a kid, is because now I've seen all the behind the scenes stuff that goes into writing comedy. Like you watch 30 Rock and there's people, comedy writing rooms are more open. You can see that stuff all the time. It's really entertaining to watch that process. But Python brings that process into the storytelling in a way where they're trusting an audience with that joke they're not comedy writers. You know what I mean? Like saying, oh, okay, you should know it's a bunch of guys. It's a pissing contest in a writer's room, and it's whose joke landed, who had the best bits and everything. And they put it on there. It's like Adult Swim kind of meta.
Mm-hmm.
And the fucking historian that they kill.
Oh, I love that story.
That was my favorite part.
Yeah.
And like the end where the wife says like, that's him right there. And they arrest them.
And you can there's the argument that they were just crazy people in the park. And when you watch this and then if you go later when The Fisher King is one of Terry Gilliam's movies, like it kind of has an interesting parallel with that. If you don't remember that movie, Ron Williams is the homeless guy.
I never saw it.
It ties into Arthurian stuff too. It's just interesting, like how this stuck with them the rest of their careers. Because then you go to Jabberwocky, and it was like more of the fantasy stuff, but very specifically like medieval English stuff.
You know how they shoved George Washington?
Well, and Terry
down our
Gilliam's
throat?
American.
Yeah, he's an expat.
George Washington here, over there, it's like King Arthur. That's their thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was king of the Britons.
Yeah.
He was. King of the who?
The Britons.
Who are they?
And that's
Well, we
the
all
other
are.
thing.
We are
Who's
all
the
Britons.
I'm your king.
We all are.
Who do you mean? I just choose. There is how you gonna. You don't have the Google map car driving around checking out borders.
It made me work to understand things and like my comedy simple.
Andy would not like to think.
You want a
please.
primer going into it.
The thing is, Andy would like to be looking at his phone
because it's your culture
while it's happening.
Yeah.
It is. It's a smarty pants way to tell stupid, silly jokes.
Yeah. That's why I was
like, they expect you to have a certain amount of, like, they're not going to tell you the joke. Like, they expect you, like, you're either going to get it or you don't.
Yeah. That's why I was like, it was them laughing like snooty laugh.
Did you know they made a live action Mr. Toad's Wild Ride? A lot of the Python people.
I didn't.
Yeah. It's a live action Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Like, it's just wild. It's all in the costumes and stuff. They kind of look like the cartoon. It's nuts. Like, you should watch it.
Okay.
I will.
Well, thank you, Kelley.
You're welcome. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Kelley.
Boop, 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 boop.
And my name is
Yep.
All right, you're going to have to spank yourself, though. All right. At the end of every show, we say hi to our Beelzebubs. On patreon.com/NOTLP. You can find out about it there. Alise.
Chisam.
Alyssa. Branan and Emily. Jeffel. Dustin. Iona Goodwin. Iona Grail. Dr. Brian. Bill. Bill Farner.
Is that Jerk Bitch Boat?
I'm going to just say Bill now.
There's too many Bills. I need
And I don't want to call him Jerk Bitch, but Blake.
Too many bills. This is the story of my life.
Right. Blake, hi. Blayne Yogurt.
Fruit on the bottom, Blayne.
Jordache Jeans. Paul. Oh my God, his new puppy. Jeremy, Cassie, and Gamora. Ernie. Dave Siebert.
Thank you, guys.
And Monica.
Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed yourself, listener.
I hope you did too.
Let's go make some cheeseburgers.
Let's go make some cheeseburgers.
Yeah, boy.
Hey,
All right,
y'all.
everybody. Bye.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on Dawn of the Dead, and Igor made the nachos in a severed human head, and they enjoy the movie with their friends. David Kessler walks the streets of London.